I'm not gonna lie, I am slightly nervous to get back to this, but so excited to get back to this. Let's get. Oh, what? Oh my gosh. You guys, I don't know what I'm doing. Let's get into it. Take 110. What's good, peacemakers? Welcome back to another episode of the Piece4PeaceCrafting Podcast. I'm Michael, and this is my crafty corner of the YouTube universe. If you would like to follow me on other social media, you can do so by following me over on Instagram as Piece4PeaceCrafting, or if you want to follow the music playlist that goes along with this podcast, you can do so by following the Piece4PeaceCrafting podcast playlist over on Spotify. If you have trouble finding that, please just shoot me a DM over on Instagram and I will gladly send you the link to it. Hi everyone. It's been almost 2 months since my last confession, and I'm happy to be back, if I'm being honest. There is a lot to chat about, but not a lot to chat about, really. If this is your first time joining and you like what you see, feel free to hit the subscribe button, leave a comment, do all that fun stuff. But I am going to preface this with this is going to be not like a normal podcast episode where I'm showing you all the things that I'm working on or the things that I've finished. This is going to be just like a little catch up because it's been a minute, and a little bit of chat about my time going to Flock Fiber Festival in Seattle, and showing a couple things that I got while I was there. And I hesitated showing or wanting to show this one thing, but I figure it's already on the internet already because while I was in Seattle, I was staying with the guys at Fiber Hustle, so Chip and Aaron, and I got to record an episode of their podcast with them. And so I've already shown this one item, and so since it's already out in the universe, I may as well just show it here as well. So I have one FO that I'm going to show, and it's just going to be a little catch up with you all. And then next weekend, so if you're catching this, it's August 17th. It's Sunday. I'm going to try and get this uploaded tonight, in all honesty. And then next weekend, I will come back with like a proper podcast episode so that I'm back on the week that I would normally be podcasting anyway, had I kept up with my schedule. So, come hang out. I'm going to try not to make this too long of a story time, but a story time nonetheless. So the last time that I spoke with you all, I do believe, for people who have been here, I do believe that I was chatting about how, it was June. It was actually the last time I posted, I think it was 2 months ago tomorrow, which means that my summer program would have just been about to start. And if I'm being honest, I thought that this is great. Like, I'm gonna just like do the summer program and I'm gonna be doing the podcast, yada, yada, yada. Come to find out that it was just taking it out of me. And mind you, like, this is a summer program that I've run now. I think this was my 11th or 12th summer doing it. And so I definitely know what to expect, right? But there was an energy with the students this summer that just was something really magical and a lot of fun. And the kids were really into like pushing each other and inspiring each other and just wanting to be creative. They all seemed really hungry. And so I feel like when that happens, there is a different amount of energy that's being put into what's happening, right? Like, I've tried to curate the best program for them as possible, bringing in different people to work with them week to week. Yeah. And so it was just like because they were so hungry, it was just like a lot more energy being put into that. And so by the time I was getting home, I was exhausted. And and all I could do was sit and watch trash television, which entailed my kids. So these are high school students, like juniors and seniors are about to go to be freshmen in college. So some of the older ones who have been with me for a while, who are about to go to college, they talked me into watching, which is whatever. They talked me into watching Love Island, the US version. Now, I already watched Love Island, the UK version. So I was like, okay, I'll try it and give it a shot. Granted, when I'm chatting with them, it's very surface level. It's like, oh, this person's terrible. I love this person, yada, yada, yada. These kids have permission to watch whatever they want to watch. I am not talking about anything other than how I think that these people are behaving on this show, and that is a mess. Because boundaries. So I literally only had time to the mental capacity to come home, watch Love Island, and so I was watching both UK and the US. Ugh, what a time. I was exhausted, and that's like literally all I could do. Like, I was kind of barely even crafting because like I just didn't have the mental space for it, which is totally fine. And I would keep saying like, oh, okay, like I don't have much to show, but like this weekend I won't record, but like in 2 weeks I'll have something. And sort of the same cycle just kept going. Like I wasn't reading. I was completely focused on these kids and making sure that they were having the best time possible, mentally and emotionally stable. Some of them had a couple just like moments, which happens every summer. And just like really making sure that all my energy was going to that. So that happened. Their final show was amazing. I was really proud of them. I was sad that some of our seniors are going away to college because I've loved working with them over the past like 2 or 3 years. Yeah, so that was really great. Also, in that time period, I went to go and visit my roommates or my former roommates in California. They just had a little one. I think I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I shared the blankets that I made for him on here. And so I got to go out and visit them and see their family, which just like really, it had been a year since I'd seen them like in real life. And so it was so fun to just like be around them and be in that energy. And just like love on them and love on their little nugget for a little while. He's just like the most precious little angel. I can't even. So like I also want to be making things for him, but like just there's not enough time in the day. And yeah, so like that's been the bulk of my summer, just like running around, trying to do things, making sure my energy is focused on that. And then as soon as the summer program ended, it was like clean up from the summer program, get my head wrapped around the fact that like school's going to be starting in 2 weeks. This was then. Right now, it starts tomorrow, which is crazy. I literally thought I had 1 more week before the kids here in the city went back. It is tomorrow. Wild. I don't know why. Anyway. And so I had 2 days and then no. I had a Friday and 2 days, like Monday, Tuesday. And then I left that next Wednesday to go out to Seattle to go hang out with my friends Chip and Aaron of Fiber Hustle. They were vending at Flock again this year, and I was going to be helping out in the booth. And so I took some time off from work. I stayed from Wednesday to Wednesday, so about 7 days, about a week, and had just a really wonderful and creative and inspiring, a lot of laughing. Yeah, it was just really magical. It doesn't take much for me to like have an enjoyable time. Like if I'm hanging out with people that I really care about and we're laughing and just being silly and eating good food, like I am content. Like I never have to leave the house as long as we're doing that. Although we did leave the house and get to do some things. But so I went out to, do like they were pretty much done. Last tiny minute prep for Flock and load in, set up their booth. Saturday and Sunday of Flock was just like, I had fun last year. But like sometimes when it's your first time doing something, it's like, oh yeah, like this was fun, but I now know going into it what I need to like make things better for myself, not like for them. Sorry, the glare. Today I'm not using my lights. It's so bright. So I'm just using like the natural light, and the glare from the windows is in my glasses, and I keep catching it whenever I move around. Anywho, so like I knew sort of what to expect going into the marketplace days. Like, okay, the rush is going to be a lot on Saturday. It'll be a little bit less on Sunday, but it'll probably be heavy in the morning on Sunday. Make sure you bring enough water, even though there's water stations there, but sometimes it's hard to leave the booth. Make sure you have snacks. Make sure you set boundaries and tell Chip and Aaron, I'm taking a lunch break at 1:30, which like wasn't a big deal. And I told them like, hey, you guys, I think just based on last year, I need to take a break at 1:30. I can go and eat, and then I can come back and like be me again. I don't want that time to slip away and then me to get hangry, and then people in that environment like be like, oh my gosh, there are people who watch this podcast who may come up to you, and I don't want to be that person that just because I was hungry, I am not myself, right? And so I was just like, I'm going to go do this, which was great. It took me 30 minutes. I could go grab a snack, come back, and be wonderful. And to be honest, it was heartwarming, humbling, amazing, inspiring, wonderful. Truck, van, another car, another club. It was just so wonderful to see everyone. Like, folks I didn't know, folks that knew Chip and Aaron because they watched the podcast, folks that had been to the booth last year to come and check out some of the fun things that they'd made for the show. Viewers, you all who came out to say hello. And honestly, it was so like precious that people would come up and just say like, oh my gosh, like I'm so happy you're here, but like I miss watching the podcast, like when's it coming back? Like we miss seeing you on our screens. And to be honest, like I started missing it too, obviously, because this is such a great way for me to it's like a little diary for me to be like, okay, these are all the things that I'm working on, but also it's a way for me to keep tapped into this little community that that we have all built here, right? So for you all to come up to me and say that you'd missed it was like very touching. And I told everyone, I was like, look, when I get home, I'm gonna settle back in, get my dog, make sure that he's okay, and I'm going to record an episode, and then I'm going to do an episode the next week because I feel like I have things to show, and I just want to get back on track before school starts. And so here I am, ready to do that. That was 14 minutes of just a lot of chit chat about that. But I will say everyone that came out to the booth was amazing, and I love selling and my friends' things, and talking about projects and colors and yarn choices and all that kind of stuff with people. It really, I don't know, it gets me really excited about this craft that we all share. Yeah, and it just made me inspired to want to come home and just like do all of the things. It was also really dope that their booth was across from 316 Dye Studio, who you all know, like I've spun their wool before, and I love everything that they're doing. And so I'd spun up and knit some socks using the fiber that I got last year, and so I wore them on Saturday, and it was really cool to go over to their booth and be like, hey, like, these are the socks I made, and they had the colorway there, and so if people would come up and be looking at it, they would say, oh, Michael's just across like the little aisle wearing the socks that he made with it. And so I just every now and then hear my name, and I just like come to the front of the booth and like show off my socks a little bit, which was it was a lot of fun to be able to do that. Yeah, got to see some other really amazing vendors. Again this year. And the festival was bigger. I think I heard that there were like 20 something more vendors than there were last year. But at no point, walking around, like when I would go for a break or I need to just like throw something randomly in the trash. Oh, I hope me moving the mic thing wasn't moving the camera. Like it was very crowded, and we were masked for 2 hours on Saturday morning, and then the rest of the time it was not masked. But it was nonstop people until 5:00 on Saturday, which was great because I think a lot of people were worried about the state of the world that we're in. Are people going to want to be shopping? Can people afford to shop? Yada yada yada. My thing is one of the greatest forms of resistance is joy, and they cannot take joy away from us. And so if this brings you joy or other things bring you joy, you need to continue doing that because there's too many crazy things happening right now. And yeah, you can't just sit and doom scroll all the time. You have to provide joy in order to resist as well. And that is really important. So, yeah, and then Sunday was really packed too, but not as packed, right? Like it was like, if you've attended Rhinebeck before, it was definitely giving on a much smaller scale. It was giving Saturday, Sunday vibes at Rhinebeck. Like Saturday was for looking, Sunday was for shopping, right? But it was nice to see some of the new vendors. Like I got to meet Ross of Twisted Ambition, which was really awesome. Such a sweetheart, and his husband Steve. And I think his name's Kyle from Viking Fiber. I think his name's Kyle. But he was really lovely. Yeah, there were just it was just a lot of people just like coming at me. So that's that. All right. I'm going to quickly, because honestly, I didn't buy much because I was in the booth selling things. So I just have a couple fun things to show, and then I just want to show you all this other thing that happened while I was there. So a couple things that I purchased while I was away. The nice thing about working in the booth is that I could go through in the morning before it opened and just like, hey, are you like, are you selling things? Yeah, like, can I get something from you? And the vendors were just so wonderful with each other, and just like, oh yeah, sure, that's fine. Like, we loved that first sale of the day. So last year when I was there, I got a candle from Tyler over at Thought to Thread. I also bought yarn last year, but this year I was trying to be good and not buy a lot of yarn because I can't even. So I got this candle. I don't know what it smells like, but it's called Varello, I think. And it just smells so good. They are massive. They're 12-ounce candles. So I got a candle because who doesn't love a good candle? Because we were across from 316, and I love them. I obviously had to stop over there. And so I got 2 more of their, Corriedale sock sets. This is the first one. I think it doesn't have a name, but I think they said it was called Beach Party or Beach something. I don't know. It's definitely giving like sea glass vibes. So this blue that's in the middle is the mini that comes with it. I'm really excited to spin this one up. Yeah, I think this is going to be beautiful. So this is 100% Corriedale, and it's about 6 ounces of fiber. And then this set is called Whispers in the Wind. And this is really beautiful too, I think. So it's giving you sort of that mauve and this beautiful, like, sagey green almost, and this gray. I think this is going to be really beautiful as well. And its mini is that mauve color. So these are 2 bundles of fiber that I got from 316 because I love them. I feel that, like, my rule of I'm only going to buy fiber is, for me, do what you want. I feel that it's a good way for me to, like, really, what's the word? Regulate myself. Because, you know, I get, just like everyone, I get really excited about colors and things. And, like, I have enough behind me that I need to make those things first, right? And so do that. But, like, spinning up more fiber to make yarn is a different story. We won't get into that. Okay, and then so that was that. And then I went to Viking Fiber Co. and I picked up another 100% Corriedale, US grown and milled. And this is about 4 ounces of a one-of-a-kind color. Ooh, so I love that label. So this is giving a little bit more moody. I'm excited to open up the braid to see if there is more white in it, because it does look very saturated right now. But I do think that it will maybe not have some more white in there. Anyway, with all of these, I'm probably going to try to spin them kind of thin and then do a 3-ply so I can keep some of the colors together. And then, I mean, with the 316, I'm definitely going to make socks from them. This, I have no idea. It'll probably just be a fun spin. And I say that I'm going to do it as a 3-ply chain plied, and watch I end up spinning this with something else. Oh, and then, I don't want to get her name wrong. I want to say it's Tatiana. I'm going to say that, and if I'm wrong, just correct me. I'm so sorry, friend. My brain right now is a fan of the podcast, and actually she has a podcast, and I'll link it below. But she was like, oh, I brought something for you, and I'm just going to pull out one. And she gave me these little Monstera needle stoppers. And honestly, I thought I was going to cry because I was like, that is the sweetest thing ever. And she's like, yes, to match your curtains in your kitchen, which I'm like, that's such a deep cut. I feel like I made those, well, I guess I was living here. So within the past year. And I love plants, and you all know that. So anyway, I just thought that this was really sweet, and I loved that. So I wanted to show that off. She's just the kindest. And then, moving right along, I went to Ross's booth at Twisted Ambition. Okay, so I've followed Ross on Instagram for a while now. And probably, it's been a while. I want to say maybe before the pandemic? Is that true? That might be true. Anywho, so I've definitely seen the journey and the birth of this company, and it was just so neat to see his stuff in real life, because his sense of color, excuse me, his sense of color is out of this world. And so I knew that I needed to just see his booth in real life and then go over and, pick out some colors that really spoke to me. And so I picked up 2 skeins of his Wicked DK. And that is just 100% superwash merino. It's 250 yards, and it's a 4-ply. And now this first color is called Today for You, which makes me think of Rent. Today for you, tomorrow for me. This is called Today for You. I cannot. Like, what? The hat that I'm about to knit up with this, I can't even. Like, I'm just the speckle game, the color, like vibrancy. Oh my god. Here's the logo. Like, you all know who this is. I'm obsessed. And then the second one I picked up is called Bend Down Low. And I just couldn't get over like this blue and orange combo together. It just is gorgeous. So these two are for sure gonna be hats for the fall winter. I love a little pop of color when it's gray outside, whether it be a shawl or other hand knits, just something on my head. And these are going to be great pops of color when it's like really gray outside. Just throw it on. I feel like I can go and do my school visits and still look profesh in something that is fun and vibrant. Then the last thing I picked up was from Fiber Hustle because I was working in their booth, and I wanted them to leave with nothing left, obviously, because I want that for everyone that works these shows. But selfishly, I was like, oh, there's one color that I'm gonna tell myself if it's still around by the end of the festival, I would like to get. And so I was able to snag, there's actually 4, but I'm only showing you 2 because I've caked up 2 of them, and I will talk about that in the next episode. I picked up 2 of Erin's DK. It's a 100% superwash BFL. 246 yards per skein, and this is in the color London Fog. I've been obsessed with this color for a while now, and I've really wanted to use it for a specific a specific project with some of my hand spun, and now that I have my hands on it, I am able to do that. And so last night I spent some time just like winding some. I actually haven't really like crafted anything since I've been home from that trip. I mean, it's only been a couple days, but I did spend some time just winding some things up and getting things ready. And I did like the first little start of a project that, again, next week I will show you all more of it. So this feels amazing. I really think that the BFL base is really beautiful, and some of the samples that were in the booth that were knit with it are just gorgeous, and so I'm excited to actually give it a go on my own now. All right, so that's that. Those are all the things that I acquired while I was away at Flock. And the last thing I'm going to leave you all with is I just wanted to show, because I showed it on their podcast. Actually, I'm going to have a sip of water before I continue. Is in the last episode, I talked about how I had purchased some, what are they called? Some jelly rolls from Test World Design, and another jelly roll from Connecting Threads. And I'd also purchased some backing fabric from them as well, because I was going to follow a tutorial that I saw on TikTok, obviously, of the, what's it called? I don't remember what the name of the quilt is called, but I will put it in the show notes. I'll link it down below. It's a free pattern by Ruby Star Society. I'm pretty sure is what the woman says in the TikTok video. Anyway, it's sort of like a Hidden Wells-esque type, not esque, it quite literally is, but just using more strips than I think a normal Hidden Wells uses 4 to 5. And So this used 10 tall, 10 tall. And so I used a jelly roll and a half to, cut them in half. I went through and put all the colors together in a certain way. And, yeah, ended up finishing the quilt top before I left to go to Seattle. And then while I was in Seattle, I asked Chip if he could help me demonstrate on his long arm, so that we could actually quilt it. And so this I will just show it a little bit, and then I'll pop in a photo once I'm done. I'll just like do a whole screen photo of it so you can see it in all its glory. But I finished this quilt. What? So you can see like it makes these little diamonds, and there's 4 of them and a half, because I did, in the tutorial it says you're just supposed to use 1 jelly roll. I used 1.5 jelly rolls so that I could make it a little bit bigger. And so you can see some of the stitching on it. We used a multicolored thread on top to do the top stitching, and the underneath is just used in a blue, which I will show you the backing fabric in just a moment. You can see it a little bit down here. This backing fabric is called Floating Bubbles. It's from Connecting Threads. I got like 3 yards of it because I thought that's how much I would need, and it was way too much fabric, but I can definitely use the leftovers to do something else. And the backing fabric was like the 108 width, which was really awesome. So we could just put it on the long arm, slap this on it with some cotton, 100% cotton batting. I tried to go through and like, a lot of oranges together, a lot of blues together, a lot of reds going together. And then I just looked at the color wheel and saw what were opposites and paired those together when I was coming up with my squares. I'll pop the photo in here so that you can see it in all of its glory. I will say that, I think me being a creative, having a creative background, being a creative as a profession, now working with kids, trying to instill creativity in them, as well as like learning life skills through creativity, which is a lot of what we're doing. Like this being I can't wait to wash it because I just want it to be crinkly and beautiful, but I do love how just like gorgeous it is. Pre-crinkle factor is I can recognize that perfection isn't the goal, right? In learning something new. Like in learning something new, I just want to learn the skill and be able to then like repeat it over and over and get better at it as I'm going along. And so to me, when I was looking at the squares prior to sewing them all together, I was like, oh, this looks a little janky. And then once I had it all sewn together, I was just like, you know what? Some of these points don't match up. And like, I quite literally do not care. The fact that I took time for myself to sit down at the sewing machine and just figure this out and learn how to do this. I mean, it was a year ago that Carrie from the Creative Obsession and Chip were like, you're making clothes, like you're making pants for yourself, you could definitely get into quilting. And I was like, I don't really know if that's my jam. And then, within a year, something sparked in me and was like, actually, you are going to try and do this craft. And so for me to just like take time for myself to sit down to learn something new, like I'm just happy I like accomplished that. And so then to finish the top, take it to Chip, him show me like the amazingness that is using the long arm with the robotics. We both were a little bit like, this backing fabric is not the best choice for the craziness that is the front. But then as we got it quilted and I learned how to do the binding, which you guys honestly, like I machine bound it. I was a little bit nervous about that, but like low-key, a lot of fun. Stressful, but a lot of fun. Side note, and I popping the thread out of the needle. And Chip was like, just use the like automatic threader. And so I was trying and I couldn't do it, and I was getting frustrated, and like at one point I had to leave. I was just like, I need to just go stand outside because I could feel myself getting frustrated with myself. So I just went and I sat in the sun for like 5 minutes, and then I came back and I tried it. He was like, you have to do it 3 times. And I was like, okay, cool. So I was able to do it. He was like, I can't believe you don't know how to do this. You're using your sewing machine. You could do this on your sewing machine at home. And I was like, I just threaded the old school way and just like make it work. Anyway, all that to say, I was able to finish the binding. I was able to thread the machine using the threader on his machine. And then when I got home, excuse me, my stomach's growling. I hope you can hear that. The next morning I made my coffee and I sat at my machine and I just practiced using the threader, and I was able to do it. And I was like, okay, fine. Like, this is way better. Why was I telling you all that? Oh, just things that I'm learning. The binding was a great time. This fabric we thought was going to be a disaster, but as we got it quilted and did the binding, we ended up absolutely loving it and thinking that it was just a fabulous choice. So yeah, I'm really excited about this. I will say that oh my gosh, I have one more thing. I may have stumbled upon, because the internet, this company called Cotton Cuts, and they do a mystery puzzle along, or a mystery puzzle quilt along. It takes 10 months. You just get like a little portion of it every month or whatever, and it's all pre-cut for you. And so all you're doing is sewing it together. And in the 10th month, you get the last box, and they tell you how to piece everything together. So I'm really excited to just start that. I'm hoping that for the next episode, because while I was gone, my first package came. And so hopefully in the next episode, I will have those sewn together so that I can show you. I'm really going to try to take time. I can't believe this has been going on for as long as it has been. My thing is saying it's 35 minutes. I'm really excited to take some time for myself this week and just sit down at the sewing machine and just get like the little, I don't, they could be blocks, they could be I don't know, just to get those sewn up. Yeah, and to do a project that's going to take me that amount of time so that I don't feel stressed about making the whole quilt. I'll talk more about that next time. Anyway, the last thing I have to show you, it was buried under the quilt that I picked up at Flock, is a mug from, it's got water in it and it just spilled all over me. From Jam PDX. I wanted one of their mugs last year, but was not able to get one. So this year I went over to their booth and made sure that I got one. I will say that I wanted one with a swear on it, but I figured I use a lot of my like, pottery, like hand thrown things on this channel. And sometimes I want to take mugs to work for various reasons, whether it be making coffee or tea at work, or I don't know, other things that I need a mug for at work. And so I talked myself out of getting it, which is fine, but I love the one that I did get, and so it says Craft Life on it, and I just thought that this was really cute. And I'm happy that I finally have one of her mugs because they're just wonderful. I actually had my coffee in this one this morning. Okay, friends, with all that being said, I don't want this to be the same length as my normal podcast episode, but it looks like it might almost be. I do want to say that I am happy to be back and podcasting, and thank you all for all of the love in past episodes saying, "Where are you?" coming up to me while I was at Flock saying, "Where are you?" I'm back. I'm happy to be here, and yeah, I feel it's been a super inspiring summer, and I think I told myself that next year, if I'm feeling this way, I will definitely let you all know prior to, or just like I'll find a way to make a short video and do something and say maybe like, hey, the summer's really busy for me, like I'm taking 2 months off, I'll see you all in 2 months. Or yeah, we'll figure it out when we get to that bridge. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But it's been a very creative, very inspiring summer for me, and I am truly looking forward to getting back to all of the crafty things and coming to hang out with you all and yeah, making all the things. I've got to get my Rhinebeck sweater. One of my Rhinebeck sweaters done. The other one, my vest that I'm wearing with the Needles of the Ready Boys and our crew, our house crew. I got to get that on the needles and sewn up. So like there's things that need to be done, and I'm happy that you all are going to be along for the journey. So yeah, I hope you all have enjoyed this episode, and until I see you in a week, make a piece, spread some peace. Peace.